Hoping. Let me just check if my sound is working because it's been doing some weird things. Now it seems to be working. Hello. Yeah. Sorry for that. Um, well, I understand that this isn't a specific business post. I do want to share this with you because today is International Women's Day. And if you've been listening to me over the past few months doing my out of service live stream sessions, one of our core values is being genuine, and this is me being my authentic self. No makeup, I haven't even done my hair. There's no filters, no nothing. This is me, Ivanka Menken, and I'm just talking to you to acknowledge that today is International Women's Day. And why did I want to do this? Because, to be honest, when I started uni, I didn't even realize that this decision meant that during my professional career life, I would mostly be surrounded by men. After all, both the agriculture and IT industries still is mainly male. And to be honest, I've never seen it as an issue or a challenge. And maybe it's because of my own childhood. Growing up in the Netherlands, being safe, but also being the first child of an army officer. Or maybe it's because of me and my personality. I'm quite competitive. My poor parents had to take me to gymnastics competitions, jazz, ballet competitions, tennis competitions, and even ballroom dancing competitions. That basically took me all over the country because I was too young to drive. And so they were my drivers and support crew. But the honest answer is I don't know. I don't know why I've never seen it as a challenge to be working with a lot of men or to not be working with a lot of women. And since 2006, I'm a member of the Entrepreneurs Organization, also mainly male. The Queensland chapter currently has about 20% female membership because as a member, you need to be the co-founder or owner or majority shareholder of a business that turns over $1 million US. And there's not a lot of women that actually are in that position. And I have to admit that when I joined in 2006, I felt so proud that Raywin Bailey was the president because she made me understand that there are no limits and that you just have to be yourself and follow your own path. And I don't want to turn this into like a male versus female kind of conversation, but I do want to touch on the fact that today is International Women's Day. And it's so easy for me to say, oh, I never had an issue with that. I never had an issue with being a female in a mainly male industry because my experience is not indicative of what I'm hearing around me. So, why is International Women's Day important in 2022? Um, it's because I understand that my experience is not indicative of what's happening in the rest of the world. And that globally, girls and women play an enormously important role in the advancement of our science, technology, agriculture, politics, you name it. And this often happens without being recognized in the official records. And although I must say that this makes for amazing inspirational movies, think about Hidden Figures or On the Basis of Sex about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I'm sure that these women didn't go through that experience so that people could make an amazing movie about them one day. They didn't do that for that reason. And before you start coming at me a bit about like, why is there an international so and so day? Well, my response would be that the fact that the United Nations has created an International Women's Day tells you something about the state of affairs globally in relation to women's rights. Each year, there is a theme around International Women's Day. And this year, it's about equality today for a sustainable tomorrow. I did have to look it up. But I had to think about that for a moment. I mean, what does International Women's Day have to do with a sustainable tomorrow? Because on first glance, those two topics don't have a lot of overlap. But then when you consider the amount of women and girls around the world who are responsible for gathering food, crop growing, animal husbandry, and the education of the next generation through instilling values and understanding of our impact on our environment, there is an overlap. And I was also thinking that this may be an issue for developing countries But considering the amount of women who have two or more jobs or have to work most of the times out of home as well as at home, the amount of women that have to do a paid job as well as all the housework and raising the children, it made me realize that there's a much broader impact, and it's too simplistic or too narrow minded to think that, oh, this is just a developing countries issue, or this isn't us, this is them, this is far, far away. um, a lot of women I know of, a lot of women that I speak with, they're often too busy to cook wholesome food for their children. So they order takeaway or opt for some fast food option. And that in itself has a massive impact on the future of our environment due to the unexpected consequences. I mean, if the food is super processed but also very cheap, it makes you think about what happened in the value chain to make that happen. So there is a connection between women's rights and a sustainable future. It's so easy for me to sit here and to focus on healthy, wholesome eating patterns with lots of fresh meals made from scratch because I have a job and a partner who supports me every day of the week to share the load and the sheer mountain of responsibilities. It's a lot harder to do that when you're flying solo or have a less supportive partner. So I'm super thankful for everything that my husband has done over the years. I mean, we run everything as a team. We manage our businesses together as well as our personal life. And we generally support each other to create the best possible life individually. So it is a teamwork. And maybe International Women's Day is a good opportunity for us as women and girls to think about how we can do better, how we can be better, and look around where we can help other women. How can we help make their life better? Because every little thing helps. Maybe help that woman who's struggling in the supermarket, or the uni student who doesn't know how to complete her study because she's so behind because of COVID, or because she has to help out in the household or send money back home, or whatever. So we can help lifting women and help them build their self-esteem, minimize that imposter syndrome and self-limiting beliefs, or give them a leg up through microloans. And that's what I started doing in 2010. I found this organization called Kiva, and I always choose a woman who needs a loan to improve her business. There's so many choices. There's personal loans, there's educational loans, but for some reason, because I love the fact that as women, we can be entrepreneurial and we can create our own future. I feel very strongly that I want to support entrepreneurial women. So that's what I've done through the art of service, through our business, doing these microloans for women to improve their business. Or you can do what my friend Symone does and support the Resilience Center. So she created a foundation, a center for long-term accommodation, mentoring, and support for women who need to get out of a dangerous situation at home. And I'm so impressed with everything that she's doing for the Women's Resilience Center in New South Wales. I'm going to be chatting to her on the 24th. So if you're interested in her story, check back on Thursday, the 24th of March at 8 a.m. Queensland time. Okay, that was a bit of a shout out. But yeah, no, I'd love for you to join us for that chat. So it's 8 a.m. Queensland time on the 24th of March. Because I am super impressed with everything that Symone is doing to lift and support and to empower and mentor women in their darkest hour. So yeah, I can't wait to hear her story. But there's so many other ways. In EO Queensland, as I said, I've been a member since 2006. We have a business growth program that we call the Accelerator Program that helps entrepreneurs, not just female entrepreneurs, but entrepreneurs to grow their business from 400,000 in revenue to about 1 million in revenue. And you wouldn't believe the amount of amazing women that run businesses in that particular revenue bracket. They just need that extra support to grow and scale their business. So being involved with that accelerated program really gives me a lot of energy. It gives me a lot of support for me as well, and insight, and creative ideas, and it helps me to put things in perspective, and it also helps me to structure my own life and to focus on what's really, really valuable to me personally, and valuable to me in business. So please take some time today and think about, what does International Women's Day mean to you? How can you help the women around you? How can you support and lift up the women around you, be it sisters, mothers, daughters, friends, colleagues, co-workers, or just strangers? How can you help them? How can you support them to create equality today for a sustainable tomorrow? Because I really, the more I think about it, I really connect with that theme, because sustainable tomorrow isn't just environmental sustainability. It's about education. It's about the environment. It's about our climate. It's about how we, as a society, how we deal with each other and work with each other and support each other. It's all about our own core values. So please take some time today to think about that and to support the women around you. And again, if you want to have a quick squeeze, or just want to check in on the 24th of March when I have a chat with Symone, that will be awesome. And this Thursday at 8 a.m. Queensland time, I'm talking to Sean Halen, and he is the ambassador for Rare Birds. So that's another organization headed up by and founded by a friend of mine in Sydney, Joe Burston, and that is all about creating entrepreneurial women as well. And Sean, who is not a woman, he is not a girl, he is a man, but he is the ambassador for South Australia. So I'll have a chat with him about that as well. So that'll be really interesting. So that's it for today. I really wanted to touch base with you about the reason why in 2022, for me, it's important to talk about International Women's Day. And I hope all you women out there, that you feel comforted, you feel supported, you feel uplifted, and you really feel that you can conquer the world, because as a whole, as a global society, I think we can do better. And I think we can support each other better. And as a group, what we can achieve is limitless. So enjoy, have a great day, and thank you for listening. Bye.